Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey, welcome. It's Tarot Tuesday. Welcome to Tarot Tuesday Tarot. We're going to pull some tarot cards today and basically make ourselves uncomfortable, right? That's what we do on Tuesdays. I'm always joking that our tarot cards are kind of rough with us, or like give it to us straight, or tell us what we don't want to be hearing, and but they're straight ballers, you know what I mean? Like they're just like, this is how it is, and I love that. Even though sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, tarot is so different than oracle. Like oracle's like a pat on the head and a little back rub. Tarot cards are like a swift kick in the pants. Like, get your shit together, honey. So anyways, lots and lots of shit in the world, in our lives. Absolutely. I just got a message. Thanks so much for reaching out. Saying there's just so much shit in my life. And I'm like, I know. Like, it's crazy. Sometimes it's like life wants us to be alchemists and figure out somehow how to turn shit into gold. I mean, if I could learn how to turn shit into gold, I would be loaded. So I guess that's like our little life challenge. It's like, okay, so these are the cards you're dealt. This is the hand you're given. Apparently you're like just, a shit magnet. Now, what can you do with it? Can you make something out of it? Can you alchemize it into something more enjoyable, right? So, I mean, I know that's like a huge benefit of me getting up every morning and rambling at the mouth. It gives me an opportunity to laugh. It gives me an opportunity to get it off my chest. It gives me an opportunity for satsang. So I was talking to my mom last night, and I was like, Mom, I just don't mean to toot my own horn, but like every single one of my podcasts like is good for me. Like it's good for me. And I speak from my heart, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, it's like satsang for yourself. And she's like, when we were young, we used to get together every day and have satsang. And satsang means like speaking from your heart. And so, yeah, when my mom was like young hippie and there was a bunch of them, there was a bunch of them hippies living in an apartment complex, like basically like, the poor projects, like the government funded, like single mom, I lived in one for a long time when I was little, and then again when I first had kids. But anyways, they would get together because like they all just lived there, and they had like a shared playground in the middle, and like it was really nice. Hillside. It was called Hillside, I remember. But they would get together because they had all like they were all hippies, and they were all probably, they probably all like to smoke pot together or whatever, but they also learn the techniques of knowledge, which is the meditation techniques given by Prem Rawat, Prem. Rawat is Rawat, I think, but Prem. And they called him Maraji. So they were really all having this beautiful experience, and every day they would get together. Like, I don't know if they were making dinner together too, or sometimes those satsang sessions were very smoky. There was some smoke in the air. But anyways, they still came together and spoke from their heart and really got those good vibes going. And yeah, even if we don't have a circle per se like that, we can still come together on the internet and do that. There's some really great groups online. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like I do that with myself. You gave me a microphone, and at some point I do have satsang in every episode, which is speaking from my heart. Maybe some people call it channeling my higher self. Maybe it's just my wise old soul coming through to help clue me in. But if I let myself get into that place, I see 441. That's so funny. I looked up and saw 441 on the ticker. That's what time I was born. 441 is a significant number. But anyways, I was just telling her that I really do appreciate my podcast for just basically it's cheaper than therapy. Let's just say that. And, I get to speak from my heart, and I also hopefully get to connect with people who want to connect with me, or, we're on the same path, you guys. They're different paths. They're different, but it's the same destination. It is the same destination. And so, yeah, that's what I was talking about this morning. We're getting our wings. We really are. And it's maybe we don't even feel the wings yet or see the wings, but they're there and they're developing, and we are going to fly. We're going to fly out of this shit. I promise you. I promise you. If we are in shit right now, we are not staying, okay? We are not going to stay. We are going to rise above it, and it's going to be on our own will. It'll be our own willpower that fuels our ascent above the bullshit. So anyways, hang in there, everybody. If you're going through some rough times, personally, collectively, globally, it's really... It is upsetting to turn on the news or see what's going on in the cities and places in the world. So that's what I'm going to do today, is talk about or do a tarot spread today to kind of address some of the topics that are current right now. So if you're listening 4 years from now, it's June 2nd, 2020 at 10:10 a.m. And just so all the numbers are lined up. And yeah, we literally just witnessed, because it was recorded, a black man being basically killed, murdered by a police officer because I didn't watch it, you guys. I could not, okay? I just am a sensitive viewer, but I saw the beginning of the video, and I thought, I don't know if I can handle this, but I don't know. And my mom did, and she was traumatized, right? She was my mom did. So my mom watched it for me. But George Floyd is his name. And yeah, I don't really understand what the fuck that cop was thinking. He had his knee. I see a little baby bunny out the window. Okay, just remember, there's still bunnies in the world. He had his knee on his neck, and yeah, I guess that's what killed him, which makes total sense to me, because I used to listen to me, sensitive viewer, when I was younger, not even that much younger, but in my 30s, I really got a taste for the UFC and MMA. One, because I thought I could probably do that. I could probably fight. You know what I mean? I just had all this anger and rowdiness, and it was I don't know. I started watching it. And anyways, my point is, in an MMA fight, you're allowed to choke somebody out, to win the match. But, cause there's an artery on the side of your neck. So if you're squeezing someone's neck, you're pinching off that blood flow. Now, at a certain point, they'll pass out. And then that's when the ref comes in and is okay, I gotta get off there, that's it done. The ref breaks up the fight so that the other person can get the blood flow back and be revived, right? But if there's no referee, you could kill that person. It's called strangling, But it's it would be a quiet death, because you're just pinching that part of the body. So anyways, I'm assuming that's what happened. Maybe there are some other factors too. But regardless, that just seems completely absurd and unnecessary and horrible. And there's like 2 other cops on him, and there's people around videotaping. Like, why the hell did this happen? Like, are you kidding me? Why? How did this happen? Why did this happen? Why was this allowed to happen? So anyways, people are beside themselves, irate, upset, and unfortunately, in the 3D world that we live in, violence begets violence. So riots are happening. Now, granted, that gets a little shady because it's like, yes, we're all upset about George Floyd, but sometimes people, like, I don't want to say there's an agenda to like divide the human race, but like, are some of these people really actually upset about George Floyd, or did they just want to burn shit down? Do you know what I mean? Like, so anyways, regardless of all those what if, could if, this or that, regardless, racism is an issue. Police, I mean, is it brutality? Yeah, it's brutality, but when police do this, and not all police do this, not all cops would, there are cops that are disgusted with this. Like, this is not appropriate. This is not okay, right? So this man will be held accountable, but still, it's like, this happens a lot. This happens regular. Like, I don't want to say like every day, but who knows? Do you know what I mean? Who knows? So anyways, this is a topic for everybody. Like, even though like I live in a tiny little quiet town, you know, and my experience with police officers has been adorable. Do you know what I mean? Like, and heroic. You know, like my first experience with police was when I was young and my father was being very, very violent to my mother, and, you know, like choking, holding a knife up to her throat, threatening her, and it was go to the neighbors and call the police. So my first experience with police was they are heroes, and they will come and help, and they will come and save my mom. So, like, yeah, like, I mean, I grew up with a completely the goodest viewpoint of police, right? Because that was my personal experience, and it's always been good. Now, not always, because like I did like get pulled over once for speeding. I didn't knock it out of that ticket, right? One time when I was pregnant, I didn't see that the red light said no turn on red, and I made a right turn because it was Easter and I was so pregnant and I had to pee, and I was like literally a mile from my apartment, and he pulled me over and gave me a ticket. And I'm like this pregnant woman on Easter, for fuck's sake, and I still got that ticket. But anyways, like, so I have like experiences like that. But then I also, like, last 2 years ago, my husband at the time got a flat tire. Well, didn't a cop come and change it for him? Like, I mean, and this is how small town it is. Like, the cop was like, oh, we need a jack. And Dreg was like, well, I have one back at the house. So Dreg and him get in the police car. They drive back to our house, get the jack out of the garage, and then the police officer does all the work and changes the tire for him. And so anyways, we have those type of experiences. So it is very, very upsetting to think that there are people having the polar opposite. Like, I mean, they feel like they're being targeted. Black people are afraid of cops. They have to like, and my mom was telling me about how there was like, I don't know, like there was like that she heard on the news, there was like a lady who called the cops on a black man because she asked, like, he said like, you need to put your dog on a leash, and so she like tried to like get him in trouble. Here he's like a professor and a bird watcher and a freaking, you know, little nerdy bird man, and you know what I mean, like, and and she's like trying to like get him in trouble because he was black. I mean, there are terrible stories, there are ridiculous stories, but yeah, this George Floyd incident is straight up terrible and just unbelievable that it happened, and it's all over the internet because there were so many people witnessing it. And it's like, wait, if this is what happens to someone, to a black man, when there are people around videotaping it and the cop still does this, what happens when nobody's around? What happens when nobody's looking? You know what I mean? Like, if this is what happens when all eyes are on you, what would you do to him if there were no other witnesses? So anyways, there are issues upon issues upon issues surfacing up, and it makes you sad. It makes your heart sad, because like, you don't want anyone to be killing anybody. Like, just knock it off. Like, white people don't be killing black people. Black people don't be killing white people on purpose. Okay, like, we'll still accidentally do it, you guys. Like, we'll just accidentally kill each other because we're dumb humans. But like, on purpose, stop it. You know, so anyways, I was looking for a tarot spread today, and you know, I found one from Spiritual Chick Mel, and it was called Black Brown Lives Matter, and there's like a white hand and a dark like hand, and they're holding each other, and I was like, well, that seems good, you know. And it was like, what can I do to help emotionally? What can I do to help physically? What can I do to help spiritually? And then a spirit message. And I was like, well, that seems nice. But then I came across one from Solstice Shop, and it was called Use Your Voice Tarot Spread. And it has 3 cards. And the first question totally made me uncomfortable in a way, because I had never really thought about it, or I didn't maybe want to go there, and I thought, well, this is our spread, because expansion is not comfortable, and yeah, I'm gonna go with the one that apparently, if it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, there's something there for me to gain. That's one way to look at the world. But anyways, there's 3 questions, and the first one is, how can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? And I was like, whoa, right? Because who wants to think that they're privileged? I was like, well, you even know the shit in my life, right? But like, actually, like, because of the color of my skin, it's just how it is. I will have less problems. You know what I mean? Maybe, right? And I thought, you know, because there was like a little rebuttal, like, you know what I mean, like, inside me. So this is the spread that I'm gonna do today because of that first question. You know, it's like, are you kidding? How could you call me privileged? Like, let me tell you about the shit I've been through. But this is about something else. So the second question is, what lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? Right? So just like I was like, well, my experience with police has been awesome, right? So it's like in a way, it's like, we're like, I can't believe, we don't want to believe that this happens. Well, now we have a video all over the internet that it totally, totally happens. Even though this is probably definitely not the first video. Do you know what I mean? But this one is getting some attention. Why? Because it needs to. It has to. This needs to be on the table. And then the last question is, what action am I going to take to begin creating change? What action am I going to take to begin creating change? So, they're good questions. Hey, just so you know, the hoe inside my head said, well, I need to date a black guy. No, that is not true. But I would, but I don't really know if okay, so listen, I live in a small town, like literally small white town. And I will tell you a funny story when I come back from my break when I was little. When I was a little kid, it'll make you laugh. It'll also make you probably question who I am. But anyways, It's hilarious. But anyways, what can I do? What can I do, right? So like I was saying, like, yeah, like there's just like I don't have any black neighbors. There was like not any black when I went to high school. I think there was like one kid who had a white mom and a black dad. Like one kid. So it's like, so yeah, like I just didn't grow up with black people. And now, if like I don't have like my social circle, I'm like, I would love to have any type of friend. like, like I only have a handful of friends. Like I need way more friends, do you know? But it's just kind of interesting about like where I'm at. So yeah, I would definitely say I fall into the category of white privilege. Duh. Yeah, like absolutely. But is that something that my ego would even want to admit, right? So anyways, this tarot spread obviously made me uncomfortable in a way, or like challenged me, and I was like, well, that's my fucking spread then, isn't it? So anyways, I found some other good spreads, like for like we could have totally avoided this issue and done the what's in store for me spread, the month ahead tarot spread by Inner Sight, but like I was like, nope, we gonna do the one that makes us feel, a little bit uncomfortable. So I am going to put all the spreads on Tarot Spread Layout. That's an Instagram page that I just hoard tarot spreads that I'm going to use soon or on my own personal time. But today we're going to use the tarot spread called Use Your Voice. So I'm going to take a quick break, go down, get my snacky snacks. The socialist surprise lunches for the kids at the school district is still dropping off. And I'll be right back, and we're going to do these 3 cards. So make yourself some tea and get your decks. We're going to shuffle and see what the fuck comes up, and we're going to look at it. And then we're going to commit to using our voices for change, even if it's just the voice inside our head. Whoop. Isn't that so loud? Sorry. That's my alarm to say go get the snacky snacks. So anyways, that's what we're doing today. It's Tarot Tuesday. Definitely tarot cards always put me on the spot. That's okay. Hey, and you know what? It's okay that like I am who I am and I'm coming from where I'm coming from. I'm not the most enlightened person. I'm not the most cultured person. I'm not the most expanded person, right? So anyways, let's take a break and then we'll just see. In my mind, I said, let's take a break. And then in my mind, I saw the tarot cards handing me my own ass. So that's what they do. All right, here we go. All right. I could literally have worn a jacket down there. I will have I have the same sweatpants and sweater that I had on yesterday because it's just so warm. But I could have actually had like a jacket, like my winter coat. It is freaking cold for June. All right, so we took our little walk, got our sack of snacks, and I sent the girls upstairs to eat. Okay, so a little out of breath, but that was a good little walk. It was like really just right there. All right, so where were we? Using our voice tarot spread. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Because yeah, like that first spread with, the hands holding each other and like, what can I do? And that's a good spread. And I'm not making fun of the spread or anything. I'm just saying there was a different vibration evoked from me in the spreads. And I'm going with the one that was more uncomfortable and like, oh, do we really have to talk about this? Yes. Yeah, I think we actually do. Now I try to stay in that middle lane and send love to everybody. Like, I just want everyone to love everyone. Do you know? I won't lie to you. I just want everyone to get along. I want everyone to be peaceful. I want everyone to love each other, and I also want there to be justice for everybody and no injustices for anyone. Like, that's ridiculous. It's just fucking ridiculous to think that this stuff happens. And then on all levels too. just, you know, okay, even I'm going to say some things that probably like will make me look just like not the best person in the world, but like, you know, like even like I said, like I've never dated a black guy. Now, in my defense, no black guy has ever taken an interest in me. Although I did, oh, wait a second, I just have a memory pop in. Okay. When I was like 18, 19, right around there, I did go to a rave party, underground, shady as shit, in Erie. And I took some pills that made me throw up for like hours upon hours. Like I was like vomiting blood even. And and I was like literally in bad shape. And I remember an after party. No, this was at the rave. This was like 100 years ago, but I faintly remember this. The one person that was like comforting me was this young black guy. And I remember even at the after party, I think his name was Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, are you out there? Call me. I'm more responsible now. But anyways, like, you know, like, and I totally remember him, like, he was probably worried about me, and like, gosh, this girl's like not feeling good, and he was like, you're gonna be okay, like, you know, I think you're fine. And I just remember him being there and being sweet. But anyways, yeah, like I've never had like a black boyfriend. Of course, I've only had so many husbands and boyfriends because, you know, I was just married for 13 years, and my relationship for that was 8 years. So I have never had much single time. But anyways, yeah, like, but yeah, like I was like talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about their friend who's been really interested in black men, and actually was getting like her heart broken by one. Like he didn't text back, and he just kind of blew her off. And my friend was saying, she was like, I can read white guys, but I don't really know. I don't really have that much experience with black guys, and like they just seem like harder to read. And so like there's types of like racism and stereotypes on every level. There really is. You know what I mean? Like to think that all black guys are a bunch of two-time players and have like 4 girlfriends. I mean, I'm sure that's true for a lot of black men, just like that's true for a lot of white men, and that's true for a lot of Puerto Rican men. Right? But like, to think that there's like not someone who's honest and genuine, and I mean, that's like just probably like a bad relationship with men vibe coming through. But anyways, it's just kind of interesting when you start to like observe and look at like all the ways, you know, racism exists, stereotypes exist, inequalities exist. And yeah, it boils down to this term called white privilege, which white people don't like that term because, like, you know, I know white people that are as poor as dirt. Like, they have nothing. Like, to say that they're privileged is like, are we talking about the same people? But I heard someone explain it. It's like, it's based on the color of your skin. You know, it's this concept that like, because that you're white and have light skin, you know, you're not going to be targeted or profiled the same way as a black or brown person. So it is this, it's a topic that it's like some of us little white lady girls in the country are like, really? Like, what, this goes on? Yeah, it does. And it's maybe more of a city thing, but even like, you know, my local newspaper, like there was like some peaceful protesters down at the library in Punxsutawney, and you know, they had their own local stories of people being discriminated against and maybe getting a hard time. Okay, so yeah, like not many black people in Western Pennsylvania. So then more, because of like the universities, then like that's how, like, you know, our local towns, you know, brought in more diversity and people of color and interns and people from other countries, right? So luckily the universities like are trying to culture our town. So anyways, here's my story from my childhood. So my mom before she was a school teacher, worked with handicapped adults. And back in the 80s, we just, called them mentally retarded adults because that was okay. That term was okay to use. Like, I have an Aunt Beth who's mentally retarded. Of course, now you can't say that, but back in the 70s and 80s, Aunt Bethy was retarded. Like, that's just, So anyways, I grew up with a retarded aunt, right? Mentally, whatever. I don't even know what the right term is anymore. But, like, this is what happens, like, when people are raised without, like, cursing certain words, it's like, that's just how Aunt Beth was. Like, anyways, so my mom got a position with taking care of mentally retarded adults, okay? And I loved it because I would go to her work and, like, they had, like, bins set up for them to do, like, hand-eye coordination and sorting buttons. And, like, I was just like, this is awesome, right? Because I'm just a little kid. But one of the best things that they would do for and they called them their clients, okay? So my mom's clients that she worked with, like, we would take them, like, shopping sometimes, or, like, and, like, they'd go to, where they would do their therapies and their work. They called it work, sorting these buttons, and they were all older, like, elderly clients. So mentally retarded, but, like, older clients. And some of them were, like, slightly deformed. I remember this, like, old guy, like, he was, like, had real big lips and he drooled and he had big ears. Like, his name was Ray. Like, I was introduced to, like, it was like the Star Wars of human beings, right? With all these clients that my mom would take care of or help with. And, like, there was, like, one little old lady, and she always had, like, a perm, but she would chattery. And, like, I learned that, like, this was just how they were, and is no big deal, and I could, like, understand what she was saying, actually, and, And so there was, like, this, I'm trying to explain, there's just this wide, vast array of clients that, I guess, because I was around them a lot, seemed pretty normal, or, like, hey, like, that's just how they are. So one of the best things that my mom would help with is she would take them roller skating. And, I don't know if it was, like, a weekly event or monthly, but I remember going a lot. And, we'd hold hands with the clients and we'd skate around, and like, there was, like, like, there was all types. Like, I'm having all these memories flood in. Like, there were some clients that always wanted to, like, pet my hair and touch it, you know what I mean? Like, they were really friendly, mentally handicapped, but, we said mentally retarded. But anyways, so I was, like, pretty accustomed to this, and so was my younger sister, and, we just helped mom with her clients all the time. And that was really nice for my mom as a single mom to be able to take us to the roller skating. It was like, she was getting paid and she was taking her poor ass children to the roller skating rink, so we could skate probably for free while she was working. All right, so the story is, one day my mom says, she'll never forget this, like, a bus pulled up, and a whole, it was like a college fraternity, like, young black men came in to the bowling alley. And she says she'll never forget this, that, even though all these retarded senior adults that were, like, deformed and weird AF, okay, and strange and odd, even though my sister and I had been so accustomed to quite a diversity of human beings, we had never seen anyone dark-skinned before. And she said when this group of, like, young, fraternity black men walked in to the roller skating rink, because they were they were, like, going to skate, Friday night skate or something, as something fun to do. They were not regulars, but anyways, like, when they walked in, she said my sister and I just stood there with our mouths open because we had never seen black men before, and we were just like, and she was, like, trying to, like, break our stare, but, like, and my mom just thought that was so funny because like she thought that like we were accustomed, like like here we are hanging out with mentally retarded adults on a weekly basis, but like we were just in awe, and not in a negative way, just we had never ever seen a group of black men before, like, oh my gosh. So it's kind of a funny story because it's like, yeah, we were totally like, these strange old adults, the clients, we were used to that, these total strange, and the clients would make other people uncomfortable, but like my sister and I were completely normal. But yeah, these young beautiful black men walk in and my sister and I are just like we just froze. So like, what have we laid eyes on? So anyways, it's kind of a cute story because we were such little kids and but it's like, I get it that like some people are just not diversified. I get it because that was my experience. And still to this day, like, when I go to the grocery store, I just really see white people and yeah, I really do. And Amish people. So that's the part of the world that I live in. But, the thing is, it's like human beings are human beings. And that's really what I want to project out, funny stories aside, when it all boils down to it, we are humans. And if we were colorblind and we didn't see our reality in color, maybe that would help if everybody could just kind of see, or not, no, I guess you'd still see different tones. Okay, that's not a good analogy. If we only saw in energy and vibration, right, as that's really who we truly are, like a blob of energy, we would start to see people's essence, start to see their soul, start to see their light, see their vibration. And, we need to connect with people on that level. I was going to say judge people, but like, that's actually, we need to quit separating and judging. But yeah, there's a lot of healing and a lot of work to be done. Like, we can make a very long list of all the injustices done to Black people and people of color. And I mean, the list goes on. Brown people, Native Americans, natives, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much injustice. And it's not like, okay, like it was white people who did it. Like, even though I'm not the person who did it, like there's still this residual responsibility that it's like, we need to make this better. We really do. And to think that there are people of color who are scared of the police and scared to go out at night because they're going to be profiled and targeted and maybe like that is bullshit. That should not be happening. So there is like the list of healing and injustices and things that need to be remedied and fixed and improved upon. That list is so long. So it's hard to like even think like, how do we do this? But so anyways, it's like, it has to start like all things on a personal level, and yeah, I think I should have a, I should have a Black boyfriend. Why not? Oh, I would be totally open to it. If he liked plants, like knew what the law of attraction was, like my requirements for my next boyfriend and lover are like, anyone can apply, but I mean, you gotta be a good person. You gotta be a good person. So anyways, are we ready to do this? I felt like I've been going on and on about this, but it's a big thing right now. And it's like, there's so much heat and fire and hurt, and people are sensitive. And like, I can't speak for all white people, right? Like, I'm not the white girl spokesperson, but like, I could be, because I mean, like, gag me with a spoon over here. So, but it's like, I think a lot of white people aren't quite sure what they should say or shouldn't say. Or, it's like, I mean, it's just kind of confusing because from a white person's perspective, they're like, well, I don't do this. I don't hate anybody, but yet like they're just not quite sure what they could do, should say, if they're entitled to say anything, but anyways, this tarot spread, if you'd like to join me, is called Use Your Voice. So right now I'm using my voice to say, hey, I'm not always quite sure like what we should do or what we shouldn't do, and I'm not perpetuating hate or division, but guess what? I'm not really in a place that I have an opportunity to do much. That's what it feels like. So a lot of times the best thing that I feel like I can do is send out prayers, send out hope that we can fix this for everybody, that we can improve life for everybody. Intentions that people stop killing each other on purpose. Like I said, they're still going to do it accidentally because we're dumb. That's not even a funny joke, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all going to die, right? And it might be at the hand of another person, but hopefully it's an accident and not something deliberate and not something done out of like this cop that killed George Floyd. Was he just being stupid? Like, was he like trying to act macho and not know, like, what the fuck? It just makes me mad, because it makes police officers look bad. It makes black police officers look bad. Like, it makes all cops look bad when stuff like this happens. And, there's definitely good cops. There's definitely honest cops. There are definitely cops that are crying about this because they're devastated that this happened again, right? It's just ridiculous. So anyways, but I'm not a cop. You're probably not a cop either, but you are a person. So let me read what Solstice Shop wrote. She says, I've written, Solstice Shop her name's Kat, and she's from Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, and I've done her spreads before, and because she has a good heel tarot spread too that she just posted. I love her spreads. Okay. So she says, I've written and deleted this a few times. Here's the thing. White privilege is real. If your skin is light, you are at an advantage. Yep, that is uncomfortable to sit in, but we have to. This is work we fucking have to do. We need to be allies. I created this spread as a tool to help see where we need to grow and what needs acknowledged. But please, for the love of God, don't stop at doing a freaking tarot spread and consider your work done. Read, learn, educate yourself and others. Don't look away. Donate, advocate. Look how you benefit from the system. We contribute to racism every fucking day when we don't do the work to change it. So yeah, she's got 425 likes on this tarot spread, 23 comments. Well said, using your gifts to create change. I mean, most people are just clapping and putting hearts and saying like what cards they post and can I repost this? Absolutely. Love, this is a spread the world needs. Thank you for posting it. So people are ready to, someone said, it is not about color. It is a war between good and evil. Peace. We can all stop evilness by reacting when we meet it in our daily life. So yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, that does really boil down to it too. It's not like a thing of color. It's like, come on, you guys, we need to eradicate evilness in the world. Like, there should just be nobody who wants to hurt anybody. But, it goes all types of ways. But yeah, the white privilege, if your skin is light, you are at an advantage. Yeah, I mean, if I went down into the city, and they see me in like my old lady garb, they're probably not gonna stop me and think that like I'm selling drugs. which would actually make me a pretty successful drug dealer. Like, right, but there it is. Like, I would have the advantage of being a successful drug dealer because I'm white. That's white advantage. There we go. I just explained it to anyone who wasn't getting it. Like, I would not be profiled as the drug dealer because I'm dressed in nice clothes and my skin is white and I look like I'm from Punxsutawney. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, I wouldn't probably be pulled over. Like, there's not, you know, I wouldn't be treated suspiciously because of the color of my skin. So that is white privilege. Not that I should even consider selling drugs, even though I probably would make more money selling drugs than I do podcasting. That's a fact. That is undeniable. All right, so I'm going to use the Herb Crafters Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert and Letitia Guthrie, like I have been doing. And we'll just see what my cards say. Like, I'm always nervous to see if my cards are going to have anything accurate to say. I do believe in them. Maybe just a little extra nervous because of the topic. But you know what? I'm open to helping. That's what I'm open to. I am open to helping. Like, how can I help? Well, I guess don't try to pretend like it's not happening, even though that does kind of contradict like the whole law of attraction studying that we've been doing, because like we're supposed to be compassionate to the injustices of the world, yet we know that like wherever we're focusing our attention on, that's going to grow. So that's my only thing about it. It's like, okay, well, I want to be solution oriented focus in. I don't want to just at 11:01, I don't want to just keep on watching the injustices. I like, what can I do to help? Do you know? Because I don't want to put any more energy into the divide. I don't want to put any more energy into more things happening, bad things happening. So because I've been studying the laws of the universe, like I will tell you, like I'm going to be solution oriented and love oriented, because that's what I want to perpetuate in the world. So anyways, let me just cut here. I want to make sure everything is mixed up pretty good. It's just a 3-card spread. So get your cards shuffled and we'll just be open. But yeah, if you have a voice, use it, you know, even if it's just saying, hey, I don't like what I saw, and I don't ever want this to happen to anybody. And I want Black people and brown people, I want all people to feel safe, but especially people who have been targeted because of the color of their skin. I mean, that is bullshit. And it's fucking time it stops. You know? So, yeah, I am privileged in the sense that, like, I live in an area that, like, you know, it's not a high crime area at all. I mean, it is peaceful and happy, hunky-dory, like, all the time. People love each other for the most part, truly. And that's what I would like to spread out into the world, you know? And I want goodness to be the foundation of everybody's life. So yeah, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when things happen that are bad to people. And to think that, like, oh, I mean, when you think about slavery, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how did that happen? How does it continue to happen? There's slavery and still happening in parts of the world. Don't even get me started about sex slavery. Do you know what I mean? Like the list of injustices is long. It is long. But this week in the world, our media is, of course, you know, had completely forgotten about the coronavirus because they are focusing in on the riots. Now, there's a lot to say about the riots and how they are dirty and shady. And I'm not saying like people holding a sign, protesting, speaking from their heart. That is legit. But I'm saying when like all of a sudden there's a stack of bricks being delivered on a corner of a city, you know, and then it's organized that groups of people are going to vandalize on purpose with intention, and like who's funding this and who's organizing this, and is this even really about George now, right? Is this even about George Floyd? When like I saw a video of these vandalizers breaking and burning down the business of a black man who was pleading for them to, he's like, I came from the ghetto, why are you destroying my business? Like, what does this have to prove? Like, he's begging them not to do it, and they did it anyways. So that to me says, I don't even know what that says to me. That to me says, like, there are some people that are genuinely wanting to improve things, and I feel like there's like a group of people who are taking advantage of this situation, or like maybe really do want to perpetuate evil in the world. That's what it seems like to me. But man, that was a hard video to come across, because he just was so upset, and I was upset for him. And it's like, why are you doing that to his business? Or anyone's business, but especially his, you know, like I was just like, oh. And then it's like, if I was right there, would I be able to stay peaceful? Or would I be like so mad at the people trying to hurt his business that I would turn on them? Like, it's like, it really prompts you to think like how would you act in this situation? Because like there was like protesters on like a freeway, I don't know what city, but there was like this lady girl kicking this car, and I thought, whoa, I don't know if I'd be able to not get out. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like she just was picking random cars to start beating on, and it's like, wow, this is a real challenge for people to not react with violence, even if someone is being violent. Or like, I just see how this could really get out of hand. And it's like, what can we do to keep perpetuating peace? Because that is what we want. We want peace, we want love, and it would be nice to live in a world where there isn't a term called white privilege, because everyone is treated as an equal. So anyways, let's pull our card. First card, we're going left to right. So left, and then the middle one's a little bit lower than the other right one. So it's like boop, boop, boop. How can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? So how can I personally use my white privilege? I guess I'm using it right now because I have a platform that people listen to, and you're witnessing someone having to step in to acknowledge. I think that's a big thing, acknowledging that the color of your skin makes you more privileged. Even though in my personal life, it doesn't seem like it, because I've got like all these problems and issues, but like collectively, globally, yeah, I would not be profiled like a black man. Okay? Like, I would not be stereotyped as a black man would, or a black woman. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, acknowledge it. But the question is, how can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? I don't really want to fight. I'd rather heal it. But how can I use it? How can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? How can I use my white privilege? Okay, it's coming up off the bottom. And it is turmeric, 8 of earth. So there's lots of orange and yellow, and you know, the solar plexus is definitely stalking us pretty close this week, you know, and it's like using my will, using my power, using my focus. How can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? Gosh, I hope this even makes sense. It's the 8 of Earth, turmeric. So, how can I use my white privilege? Turmeric says, let your tasks be an embodied prayer. Oh, it does make sense. You guys, it is beneficial to pray for this topic. All topics, but it's like, let my intentions lead the way. Next thing turmeric says is do the work and teach what you know. So how can I use my white privilege to fight systemic racism? Let your tasks be an embodied prayer. Do the work. Teach what you know. So yeah, I mean, I can only use my voice to the extent of what I know, and I'm pretty honest that I don't know everything, and my experience has been limited, and I have never even had a black boyfriend. See now, like, come on, it's hell. Everything's gonna go to the fact that I don't have a boyfriend. All right, but do the work. What can I do? It doesn't really tell me anything specific, but it does say whatever I do should be an embodied prayer. So really, I think turmeric is saying whatever you can do for help, or however you can use your voice, let your intentions be pure. Let anything you do be an embodied prayer. Like, it is my intention to help this situation. It is my intention to fight racism, right? With whatever I can do. But, you know, the prayer on my lips, the prayer in my body, the prayer in my heart needs to be that this is going to be healed on the earth and within humanity. I pray that all Black people feel safe. I pray that all Black people feel like they have just as much of an opportunity and chance and whatever it is as anybody else, as any white person. You know, like that just sucks. That just sucks that people feel like that. You know? And then it's like, yeah, we should not be judged by the color of our skin. Well, granted, it doesn't, if you're a good worker, you're a good worker. If you're not, you're not. It shouldn't be because of the color of your skin. So, yeah, I'm just going to read turmeric and see if anything else comes. I'm going to read from the guidebook. See if it has anything going on. Yeah, we should all just be turmeric, right? Like the yellow emojis. I'm seeing the yellow emojis coming up. It's like if the world was just made of yellow and orange, right? Like different shades, but all the same color. Like that's how we need to live life, as if everyone is a yellow emoji. I know that's silly to even think about, but that's how you need to treat people. Like everyone's a yellow emoji. Stop seeing in color. So fresh turmeric, I've never had fresh turmeric. I know, I can't believe it. It's sliced on a cutting board. An old white dress is lifted from a pot of warm water mixed with bright orange powder made from the dried root. Old t-shirts, dresses, and linens await their turn in the dye bath. Tools rest on the counter. Freshly dyed garments dry on a line in the sun. So that's interesting, right? Here we are talking about white privilege, and we've got white dresses, white t-shirts, white linens, and they're all getting dyed yellow. They're all getting dyed orangey yellow. So, I don't know. It's like we should all look like President Trump. We should all get orange. right? Like, but it's like, isn't that interesting? I'm not even sure what the message is like exactly, but I just find that very interesting that, I'm asking a question about white privilege, and here turmeric steps up, changing all the white to yellow and orange, all the white to golden, right? And yeah, like a lot of these linens are dingy and they just don't look good. And yeah, the orange is an improvement, and it washes and fades, and it'll be yellow shades and hues of yellow. All right, so we'll just let that sit and see what kind of message that brings up within us. Turmeric also goes on to say that dedication leads to mastery. Is your commitment strong enough? Put in the time to hone your skills. The longer fabric soaks in the dye bath, the more vibrant and lasting the color. Hard work may sometimes take its toll. It can feel isolating and frustrating. Do it anyway. Turmeric stabilizes the body, increases vitality and strength. Remember to care for yourself at the root. If you are struggling with diminished self-worth, teach your craft to others. Look for ways to engage the community in your projects. Turmeric medicine survives because it has been passed down through generations. Trust the value of keeping time-honored traditions alive. Now, if white privilege is a tradition, that needs to stop, right? But what is a tradition? Like just humans unconditionally loving humans. I mean, if you look at the history in the news and this topic, you would think that never ever happened, right? But it still, there are good people. There are people that love each other. Children children aren't born into racism. It's something that's taught, and it's like we need to trust that, if we can get out of this mindset, if we can stop perpetuating racism and stereotypes, our default button or our reset, the human's default is one of love. You see two little kids of different colors playing together. Like they don't even care. They just are being kids, little toddlers, even better. Like they just love each other. They're both there. They're happy. Like they're interested in what's around them. They're not worried about race or inequalities. And it's like we have to realize that racism is taught. It's something that is perpetuated and handed down, and it's something that would not be naturally occurring if humans weren't perpetuating it. It is not a naturally occurring thing. It was taught, it's been used, it's been abused. Do you know what I'm saying? Man, it's just screwed up how screwed up the earth has gotten. And yeah, it's pretty much the white man's fault, and it's like, oh, it just is disgusting. It really is. And as a white lady girl, it's disgusting how white men have suppressed white women. It's just ridiculous. So there's a lot of things to be looked at and healed. And yeah, we got to keep focused on the solution though. And part of the solution is just not, human beings need to step up and be like, we are not going to perpetuate hate anymore. We're not going to, we're not going to say, oh, well, he's a nice guy for a black guy. You know what I mean? Like we have to stop perpetuating even these subtle things that could be passed on and carried on. So anyways, I mean, you gotta be. I'm like thinking, I'm open. I'm open to having a beautiful black man in my life, but I'm open to having any beautiful man in my life. But yeah, like we want genuine people. We want genuine hearts. We want trust. We want integrity. We want love. We really want love. And the hate. It's like even though the hate and anger is justified. It's 100% justified, for George Floyd and what happened to the dozens of black men that similarly had bad experiences with the police. Like it is totally justified, but at some point, everyone has to say, okay, but we're perpetuating hate here. We're perpetuating violence. And I don't think violence is ever the answer, even though many times in my life I want to react with violence. For several years, I did the 64 Days of Peace and Nonviolence, and that's on my YouTube channel, Sadie Marie Cherico. And, every day I tried to it's like a program you do starting in January, and it goes to Martin Luther King's birthday. And it makes you look at things and question how violent you are in your own personal life and in the world and what you can do to change it. And yeah, I didn't do it this year, and apparently neither did the fucking world, because everyone is just acting out. Not everyone. That's what I'm saying. People are, I don't know if it's true, but I thought somebody posted that George Floyd had a brother, and he's pleading, stop this violence. This is not what my brother wants. So, I mean, like in a lot of ways, I feel like I just want to support black people. And it's like, okay, if you want to be angry, like you're totally entitled. But then, like, if you're ready to step into love, I want to support you on that too. If you're ready to reclaim our power, reclaim your power. Humans need to reclaim their power. That's why the solar plexus is harassing us. It's because it's like, step into your sovereignty, step into your power, step out of victimhood, step out of victim consciousness. Because it's like, hey, nobody wants to hear a white girl say this, but it's like, if people of color keep on feeling like the victims, now that we've studied the laws of the universe, that's what you keep attracting to you. And I know Candace Owens, I've heard her speak before, and she's this beautiful black lady girl, and she's like, get off the plantation already. And as a black lady, she's allowed to say that. Like, I'm not allowed, as a white girl, I'm not allowed to say that. But I am allowed to say, hey, human beings of whatever color you are, even the yellow emoji type, we have to start to step into our power and start to understand that what we vibrate is what we attract. So if we want something different for our lives and the lives of people that are going to come after us, and for our children and for the collective, we have to start vibing different. So if I'm going to wake up every day and feel like I'm a victim, I can't be surprised whenever all this bullshit happens in my life. Like I'm learning that the hard way, right? I'm learning that, as I go in my house and I'm like, that's broken, that's terrible. Like, I got water in the basement. My septic's putting shit all through the yard. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, okay, when I'm putting all my energy into noticing all of this crap in my life, literally, sometimes I can't be surprised when like nothing else is working out for me either. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. If we keep on focusing on racism and, putting fuel into that fire, keeping it alive, like how do we heal it, remedy it, fix it? How do we fix this without keeping it going anymore? Like, we need to fix it, but yet a lot of times it's like we just end up keeping it going. Okay, so that's what turmeric's bringing in, this big question. It's like, how can I use my white privilege to literally help fix this so that it doesn't keep on being perpetuated anymore? Right? I mean, because the law of attraction and the law of manifestation, all the whatever, we did over 100 of them last year. You know, what you put out, you get back. What you put your energy into, what you focus on grows. So we need to do the work. We need to let everything be an embodied prayer. We need to teach what we know. And the only thing I really have studied are the laws of the universe. And if we're going to fix this, we have to quit keeping it alive. So how do we do that? How are we going to do that? All right. Did I really just talk for 47 minutes on that first card? Yeah. So I had to sneak into the kitchen and eat a couple medjool dates. Those big fat squishy dates. Oh my gosh. They make my world go round. All right. So the next question is, what lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? I almost feel like I've already been exhibiting and doing this. You know, what lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? Yeah, I feel like I've already been... we'll pull a card. Oh, we're gonna pull a card. We'll pull the card. But, I mean, what have I been doing? Trying to, like, think about, like in my head, like, even just saying, like, well, my experience has been really good with police officers, or, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Like, hopefully I don't do that too much, but it's like, yeah, what am I doing to maybe think that this isn't as bad as what it is? Or, I don't know. I'm just open to what the cards say. But, yeah, like I did say, like, because I don't live in an area where there are a lot of Black people, you know, I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. And so it's not like I even have to lie to myself, like I just don't witness it. But yeah, so that is like the one, I guess, quote, good thing coming from, you know, George Floyd. Like, how, well, everybody's witnessing this. You know, even if you're living in a white privileged neighborhood, like, you have the internet and here you go. How can you not see this shit? So, all right, let's pull a card. Let's pull a card. What lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? I mean, yeah, like, maybe even the fact that, like, I do believe in like only focusing on what you want. I think, well, let's not put any energy into it and hopefully it'll go away, right? But it's going to need more than that. It needs good vibes sent into it. It needs love. It needs compassion. I mean, there are times where, like, I just want to sit and, like, when I hear stuff, like, happening to Black people, I just want to sit and cry and say to them, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for, like, the hundreds of years that white people have just been completely just the worst, just have been the worst to Black people. Like, you just sit with that, and it's like, even though, I mean, I've never done anything negative, but it's like when you tap into that collective energy, when you tap into that residual energy, that experience, those past lives. I don't know what I did in my past lives, right? Like, it's like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that has been happening, that's happened, that things have happened to you. You know, it's like, I would like to do something to help. So we do need to figure out how we can use our energy and our prayers and our intentions and our actions and our voice to help. What can we do to help? So yeah, what can we do to help? But that's not the question. The question is, what lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? Whoa. Okay, Chicory just flew out. Chicory just flew out, and it's kind of reversed, I guess. All right, it was weird because it was on the side, but when I flipped it up on the table, it's reversed. Okay, so Chicory, 2 of air. Now, just from a TMI perspective, chicory makes me fart. Like when I see one of those Fiber One bars that have the chicory root in it, I'm like, I know what's coming. Fiber One, you should just call them Farty One bars because they make me have these ridiculous farts. Okay, so anyways, lies stink. Okay, trying to avoid looking at situations of injustice, that really is foul, okay? And it needs to change. So Chicory, 2 of air. 2 of air comes in to say, release long-held beliefs, be receptive to guidance, open to unlikely partnerships. So I am going to get a black man in my life, aren't I? Is that what that means? That's what that means. Be open to unlikely partnerships. That could totally mean that a black man might love me. But that's what I'm saying. That's a long-held belief. Why would a black guy want to be with me? A skinny white girl? Like, what are you thinking? You could do better. You can do better. You could definitely do better. But what lies do I tell myself? Well, there are long-held beliefs, right? There are definitely lies and beliefs that do not serve me and beliefs that add to racism within me. Why? Because just where I grew up and not having the experience, and even just like, my friend who said, I can read white guys, but I can't read black guys, right? Like, it's just, those are little life things that could just be like, well, that's the way it is. But how does that add to injustice? Or how does that justify injustice? Or how does that belief system lie to ourselves that injustice happens or helps us avoid it, right? So maybe like your girlfriend did date a black guy and he was a freaking scoundrel. I mean, that was him just being a dirty man, not because of the color of his skin, but now you think that all black guys are a bunch of players. You know what I mean? So we really do, like everything in our life, we have to break down pretty much every belief system and break it down and be like, where did I get this? Because I wasn't born with this belief system. Like, where did I acquire it? Who gave it to me? Because most of our belief systems are not our own. It's almost safe to say that none of them are our own. So it's like, where did I pick this up? Does this serve me? Does this add to injustice? Does this add to racism? Does this add to white privilege? And we have to really start to just dissect and analyze ourselves to the point where, like, it really, I mean, you're going to have to do this with all things. Break down all your belief systems, but especially within this realm. So I like that. Release long-held beliefs. Be receptive to guidance. So yeah, a lot of my thing was, what can I do to help? All right, so I can totally see that I have had long-held beliefs that might be really minor, okay? In the grand scheme of things, minor. But you don't want to be adding anything to racism. You don't want to be adding anything to stereotyping. So even these minor things, these tiny little lies, they need to be remedied and looked at and acknowledged. And like I said, I was like, what can I do to help? I don't really know what I could do, like action do, besides rambling about it here at Ho. So I need to be receptive to guidance, be receptive to some new ways to help, be receptive for guidance, for helping me release my belief systems. Be receptive to guidance to see how I play a part in this. We all do. And as someone with white privilege, what can I do to help? I will be receptive and open to that guidance as I do my inner work to release the long-held beliefs. And I will be open to unlikely partnerships. So I've pulled this card before, and I just thought I was going to get to hang out with extraterrestrials. But now, I have to be open to my human friends too. Some unlikely partnerships. What can I do to help? How can we bring humanity together? How can we heal racism? How can we heal this once and for all? How can we heal it to the point that it's not even a topic? Wouldn't that be the best case scenario? In the future, we have healed racism to the point of wholeness and equality that it's not even a topic anymore because it just doesn't exist anymore. That is the most ideal grand vision. So chicory is this little blue periwinkle colored flower, my favorite color in the Crayola crayon box, periwinkle. And it's growing in a meadow. It's thriving in a meadow. The tall stems pierce the sky, and the ground nesting birds make a home in the dense brush beneath. So the flower's blue petals, they jut out like platforms, hubs of pollinating activity. Bees and moths gather morning nectar. There are wasps that devour aphids, and 2 white butterflies flitter about the wild field. All right, so why not black butterflies? See? So anyways, is it too soon for jokes? Okay. Old ideas can be blinders to new wisdom. So yeah, what lies do I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice? Well, old ideas can be blinders to new wisdom. Let go of worn out thinking to see an issue clearly. Let go of worn out thinking. Let go of little lies. See this issue clearly. Acknowledge the injustice clearly. Chicory is often classified as a weed. However, it's beneficial medicine. It also brings in important insects to the garden. So we need to be receptive to new guidance, gather information before taking action, then be still and look within. As the long chicory taproot brings nourishment to the surface, a deep dive will quiet self-doubt. What is really true? Acknowledge what you do not want to accept, then be willing to listen. When it is your turn to share, do not hide behind a closed, fearful heart. Open wide like the bold chicory flowers. So yeah, chicory's coming in to say, okay, dive deep, figure out your belief system, figure out your lies that you tell yourself, figure out why you don't want to look at this injustice, figure out what's really going on within you. I think it said to research, be receptive to new guidance. Gather information, right? Learn about this, educate yourself. Like, I don't see injustice happening in my day-to-day life, so I'm going to have to research and figure out different perspectives because the view that I hold is limited. You need to know that. Be open to new guidance. Go within. Figure out what your truth is. Figure out what you don't want to accept. Address that. Figure out what you want to manifest. Address that. Be willing to listen, because that's probably part of the problem with white privilege. It's like, I don't see this happening. Well, I can't believe that's true. Like, I'm not saying this is me, but I'm just saying this totally happens, be willing to listen. Like when someone says, hey, I really felt like I was being singled out because of the color of my skin, or I had this really bad experience, like be willing to listen to them and open up your heart and think about how it would feel to have that happen to you, you know? And yeah, be open. Do not hide behind a fearful heart, a closed heart. So it's time to open it up. How can we be more open in our relationships? And also Chicory says to put some blue streaks in our hair. Okay, that was just random. But anyways, be bold and clear. Yeah, like I'm totally open to helping and, you know, like I said, connecting with anyone truly and helping anyone truly. And so the work that I can do in my mind and in my heart and then outwardly in life will be a benefit. But part of that work is always calling myself out on my own bullshit. And if I'm lying to myself and I'm avoiding acknowledging the injustice, I need to be the first one to point that out and then make an effort to change, to be open, to re-educate, and to listen and connect and do my part to help heal. All right, so my head's like, wow, exhausted feeling because like this, I've been talking a long time, but that's okay. We still have one more card. I mean, you think like, I guess it's like if you think it's exhausting to talk about it, how does it feel to live it? You know? Seriously, I get it. Like I want to help. So our next question is, what action am I going to take to begin creating change? What action am I going to take to begin creating change? All right, I need water. I should have done that on my break, sorry. So, I am open to suggestions. Absolutely. Hopefully it'll help just me thinking about it and talking about it and putting my podcast out there. But yeah, I do feel like it's like we have to open up our hearts more and more and more. And, you know, it's like, of course, like we want, as white privilege goes, is like we want to think like, well, I hope it's not as bad as it seems, or I hope that doesn't happen. But hey, if black people say it's bad, then it's bad. If one black person says that it's bad, you have to believe them that it's bad and it needs fixed and it needs healed. So yeah, it's our responsibility as white people to help. It's our responsibility as just being a human being to help. You know, it's like anyone who's having a rough time, don't you want to help them? Don't you want to feed starving children? Don't you want to save people from violence? Don't you want to help somebody who feels targeted? I mean, I want to help everybody. I want this world to be a good place. I really, really do. So you have to believe people. You know, it's like that. It's like if like a girl says she was raped, you have to believe her, you know? And hopefully she's telling the truth, right? You have to believe children when they say they've been sexually abused. You have to believe people. So if people of brown skin and dark skin and black skin say that they are feeling the injustice of the world, then they are. And you have to believe them and you have to do what you can to help. Just like you would help anybody. All right, so I don't know if these cards have been pretty good, but this is so specific. What action am I going to take to begin creating change? And that stupid part of my brain just wants to make dating jokes, but would it help heal the world? Would it help heal the world if I dated a black man? I mean, you tell me. I'll do it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, then I would have, like, all my self-worth insecurity issues, because I'd be like, what are you doing with me? Yeah, then I'd even have more. I have so much healing work to do, but like, what can I do to help for real? I am open to helping for real. So I just want to sit here for a minute, close my eyes. You know, Turmeric said, let everything that we do be an embodied prayer. So let us just intend and pray and focus together that, hey, maybe we don't know the exact solution yet. We don't know all the right answers, but we are open to helping. We are open to healing this. We are opening our hearts more and more and more so that we can eradicate racism to the extent that it's like, it's just hard for anyone to even remember that stuff happening, because we've figured out a way to actually heal it. I don't think what we've been doing is working. Like, something new needs to surface. A new way of healing this needs to surface. Because the way it's been handled, apparently it's not fixed it, you know? So yeah, it needs to quit being perpetuated, and it actually needs to be healed, and it needs to be remedied and fixed, and whatever else we might need to do to right this wrong. All right, so last card, 3 cards. 3 humongous cards from the Use Your Voice Tarot spread by Solstice Shop. That's shop with 2 P's and an E. Solstice Shoppy. What action am I going to take to begin creating change? What action am I going to take? What action am I going to take? What can I do to begin to create change? Dang, it's going to have to be more clear than that. We got a couple wanting to come out. So there's a lot, maybe there's a lot I can do and I don't even realize it. What action? Oh, damn it. 3 want to come out. You guys, let's be more specific here, cards. What action can I take to begin creating change? What action? We are actually talking about action. So I've thought about things, I've prayed about things, I've opened my heart about things. Now I actually want to do something. I actually want to take action. What action can I begin to take to create change? Have I ever shuffled this long? Good Lord. Focusing. What action? Surely there's something, right? My God. Let's see what's on the top. It's garlic reversed. Number 8, strength. Like, I shuffled so long, I'm dizzy. I was like, all those deep breaths. I'm like dizzy now. All right. So like one time 3 cards wanted to come out. One time 2 cards. One time like a whole bunch of cards. Like, I know there's lots of things that we can take, but then also there was like this feel of indecision too. Like, I'm not sure what action I'm going to take to begin creating change, or maybe like, yeah, let's see what garlic says. So it is reversed. So maybe it's going to be a challenge. I don't know. Garlic says, it's a strength card. It says, lead with a bold, kind heart. Gentle healing builds resilience. Power sweetened is strength unmatched. So yeah, it wants us to be bold, be kind, strengthen ourselves, prepare for difficult times ahead, sweeten intensity and conflict. Okay, so it's like, this is an intense conflict This is challenging times. This is difficult. How can I be bold and lead, but yet also be sweet? And I'll tell you straight up, I mean, as like a white girl, like a lot of times you feel like you just don't have a right to talk about this. You know, there's definitely that on the table as well. You know, when it's like, you're like, I'm not even sure if am I allowed to say anything, or how I feel, or how I truly feel. And you know what I mean? It's like, shut up, white girl. You know? And oh my gosh. And I'm not even that. I mean, I am white, but like my grandpa was a dark man. He was very, very Italian. He looked like a black guy, dark brown guy, you know? But yeah, I mean, I'm still definitely in the category of white privilege. Absolutely. So sorry, Sicily, you were close to Africa, but you're not that, you're not Africa. But like, you know, on the map, Sicily and Africa, you know, there's just a little ocean in between. So it's like, yeah, sometimes it's hard to know your place, or like should you be helping? Should you be leading? What do you have to say? You know, you've never even had a black boyfriend, you know. But it's like, hey, I can come at this from a sweet human being perspective, and from the place that's like, I will do whatever I can to help and add love into this situation, and sweetness and kindness and compassion. And, you know, if I happen to ever see something personally happening to a black person in my life, I will step up and help and protect them. So garlic, it's this really beautiful braided cluster of purple garlic, and it's on a cloth made of natural fibers. It's a beautiful scene. There's rose petals, there's roses, in a nearby vase. The petals have fallen onto the table. The golden liquid seeps from a heart-shaped honeycomb onto a wooden board. Green scapes fold into their lemescent shape, like garlic scapes, those little curly doodads on top of garlic. And there's a pot of garlic cloves already submerged into honey. So garlic is coming in to answer the question, what action am I going to take to begin creating change? Garlic says, courage dwells in the soft spirit. Meet adversity with inner fire. Garlic strengthens the heart and increases stamina. You have the power to persevere. Cultivate reliable habits that enhance vitality. Garlic is pretty awesome. It boosts the immune system. It protects against illness. If you plant it around the roots of roses, it'll strengthen the leaves and encourage more flowers to bloom. If we would drink some garlic tea, it would heat up the body. It would ignite some passion. So garlic wants us to step into our power. But remember, a compassionate approach is powerful. So what can I do to help? Well, whatever action I take needs to be compassionate and gentle. Adding honey to garlic tames the medicine, making it more effective and palatable. So embrace both the gentle and the wild within. So it's like, yeah, I can get really upset about this and feel fiery passion that this has to stop. But that doesn't justify me driving down to Pittsburgh and throwing a brick in a window. Like, I can be very upset about all of this, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to act out violently. Or, you know what I mean? Like, go to the police station and try to light it on fire. Do you know what I mean? So it's like whatever actions we start to take to help create change, we have to begin to create change. They have to be peaceful. They have to be gentle. They have to be powerful, but they need to be from the heart. So it's like, how can we use our sweetness, our love, to be even more powerful? How can we get even more accomplished by taking the peaceful path, the powerful path, the white path? Maybe it's like our white privilege. How can we use it in a compassionate, caring, sweet, peaceful, loving way? How can we use it to help create change? So that's what garlic is coming in to say. Courage dwells in the soft spirit. So we have the power to do this. We have the power to lead with a bold, kind heart. I mean, we are entitled to say what has happened is not right. What has happened, what continues to be happening to Black people, we don't agree with. We don't want that for them, for that to be their experience. Right? We have the ability to stand up from our place of white privilege and say, hey, this is not fair. Everyone should be privileged. Okay? There should be not one person on this earth that doesn't feel privileged to be here and taken care of and allowed to be who they are and protected. That should be everybody's privilege, to be protected, to be safe, to feel like they can be or do whatever they came to be or do here on earth. You know what I mean? Everyone should have that privilege. So, it's like, that could be one thing, from our white perspective, to be like, hey, like, enough already. That Black man should have just as much privilege as me. He should not be afraid to go out to Walmart after dark because he thinks he's going to get pulled over. That's bullshit. And it needs to stop. And we want everyone to be protected and treated fairly. That's what we want. Right? So it's like, how can we continue to take action and, just let our voices be heard from all angles, from all perspectives? We want equality. We want fairness. We want natural justice, of course, like everyone should just, be accountable for their actions, but never, be put in a situation that because of the color of their skin, they're going to get blamed for something they didn't do. If they did it, fine, be held accountable. But if they're just out in the park because it's a beautiful day, like, this racial profiling has to stop. This inequality because of skin color has to stop. And what happened to George should never, ever have even happened, yet ever happen again. It has to stop. So anyways, what action am I going to take? I'm not quite sure, except I did just make like a 14-hour long podcast, and I am going to try to use my voice today. But, and that is a lot, but I feel like, of course, if there's I want to do something more, right? That's how you should feel. That's how everyone should feel. I want to use my power. I want to use my voice for good, but I also want to help out. I don't just want to say I want change. Like, I would really like to help that change happen. What can we do? How can we help? So anyways, that's garlic. That is garlic. Lead with a bold, kind heart. Gentle healing builds resilience. Power sweetened is strength unmatched. So let's get our minds in the right place. Let's address any lies we've been telling ourselves. Let's acknowledge this thing called white privilege and inequalities. And, let's build ourselves up from a loving place so that we are in a position to help with our energy, with our minds, and with our actions. All right, you guys. Well, I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me for Tarot Tuesday Tarot. That was the Use Your Voice tarot spread from the Solstice Shop. Talking about how I can use my white privilege to fight systemic racism, acknowledging any old belief systems, any lies that I tell myself to avoid acknowledging the injustice. And then, going inside, opening up my mind, opening up my heart, and asking myself, what action am I going to take to begin creating change? So I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope that there are things that are said today that last within myself and within the collective and plant new seeds, because we do want to change this in a different, more effective way. We want the change to happen that's really going to be lasting and be so effective. And you guys, that is a beautiful dream to think about someday, maybe far, far off in the future, but just the fact that someday we live in a place where it's nobody can even remember any of this stuff because we've healed it to a place of just unconditional love for all. So anyways, on that note, you know I love you. You absolutely know I love you. And I love that we hang out. And come back tomorrow. We're going to manifest, I think, grace, right? We're going to manifest more grace. Holy crap, we never even did our affirmations. We didn't even do our golden seal affirmations today. All right, well, we still have to do that. The work is never done, but guess what? That's what the world needs right now, and I'm proud of you for doing it. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our incredible herb of the week, Golden Seal. And I dedicate them all to you. Thank you. I am awake. I find the light of hope in my darkness. With patience, I care for myself and do my healing work. I keep my eyes open to gifts finding me, and I let go of past trauma. I am reborn. The struggle is over. The heart has won and a new day has begun. I am awake. I find the light of hope in my darkness. With patience, I care for myself and do my healing work. I keep my eyes open to gifts finding me, and I let go of past trauma. I am reborn. The struggle is over. The heart has won, and a new day has begun. And so it is.